This is going to be yet another look at some Sam Laporta film. The guy's just impressive with everything he does. I'll be honest with you, from the Game 2 footage against the Seahawks, I'm not going to show much blocking. I'll show him stiff-arming Bobby Wagner, though. I'll show him a 23-yard catch in the fourth quarter as the Lions are trying to come back from a 10-point deficit. I'll show his incredible catch against Kobe Bryant on a 3rd and 12, a crucial catch over the middle that allowed the Lions to go down, I think, and score their touchdown to get within 31-28. Show a couple of plays against the Chiefs. He's an extremely unique talent. I think the Lions fans should be excited about the entire draft. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Hendon Hooker, when he's able to get healthy and get acclimated to the system. I mean, they just really astute draft. Sam Laporta, this is going to sound crazy. He may be the guy with the highest ceiling. If you look at the film from the first 2 weeks, you're talking about a guy who blocks at a high level. Maybe there's plays that he doesn't win on his particular assignment, fine. But he blocks at a high level. I'll show you his F counter play where he blocks the inside linebacker Bolton for the Chiefs to spring Montgomery free on the go-ahead or game-winning touchdown, I guess, really. He can line up at wide receiver and win reps. I'll show you two, one of which he wins against Trent McDuffie in week 1, and one of which he loses against Witherspoon in week 2 for the Seahawks. But he's capable of winning them. He's a unique talent. I have a player that I want to compare him to, but I'm not going to say it. I'll maybe get to it near the end of the video, or I'll let people speculate if you watch till the end. Appreciate you guys checking the video out. All right, so we're going to get started with film from week 2. This is going to be an 11-yard catch on 2nd and 2 in the slot. And what I like about this is he finds open space, number 1. Number 2, he swats a linebacker aside. He's a guy on path for something, and people are just in the way. And you see that on the 23-yard catch later on in the fourth quarter against the Seahawks. He goes over the top of Wagner, and then watch what he does to this linebacker. I mean, it's slight from our perspective, but it's sudden. He just swats him aside, moves into the open space. Tremendously underrated talent, if you ask me. By me, at least. Let me rephrase that. There were people smarter than me who knew how good of a football player he was. I still think this is shocking. He's going to stiff-arm Bobby Wagner here. He only gets like 2 or 3 more yards after the play. This is a 2nd and 5, 17-yard gain. He's blocking on the edge, and it's a really cool thing that they're doing. I mean, these are wasted players up here for the Seahawks in terms of the routes that are coming here all to one side. And then Laporta blocked on the edge, and then he settles underneath, again, away from all of this coverage. Really takes advantage of a zone coverage, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. And then this is what I love. He stiff arms Bobby Wagner, who's a Hall of Fame player, still playing at an extremely high level. Show you the end zone angle. It's not like he busted another 20 yards after the play, but he's a rookie tight end who thinks he can do that and actually did do that in the middle of the play. The scheme here, he's going to chip down on Uchenna Nwosu and kind of settle in between the hashes. I wonder what his landmark is. I wonder what they're teaching him his landmark is for this. To me, it seems quite obvious that his landmark is somewhere to the right side of the midline. The middle of the field as the ball was snapped was here, and everything is overloaded to this side of the Seahawks zone. Additionally, there's a whole bunch of space, between him and the linebacker level, but you can see the stiff arm attempt on Wagner, who gets just enough of a piece of him to trip him up some, and the second guy finishes him off, I think, Tariq Woolen. I don't know about you. Anytime I see a rookie in the NBA or a rookie in the NFL do something to an elite defender, I take notice. This is a 4th and 4, I think, in the second quarter, and he's matched up against Witherspoon, 2 rookies. Rookie corner against a rookie tight end. The Lions trust him to line up at receiver. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't see this type of film of him at Iowa. I only watched 2 games of their offense, and I got quite bored, to be real with you. But I didn't see this consistently enough to be like, hey, they're going to line him up at outside receiver and 11 personnel, and he's capable of winning some of those battles. Great play by Witherspoon to get a stop there against the Lions. But I'll show you a rep against Trent McDuffie in week 1 where he gets a win. I think this is fourth quarter action now, 3rd and 12 from the -48. It's after a sack on a 2nd and 10. And he's going to make a catch here against, it's dime, really, for the for the Seahawks, and I'll give you the end zone angle so you can see how tough of a catch it actually was. Huge moment, 3rd and 12. I believe that was the drive where Detroit went down and scored the touchdown to get to within 31-28. I may be wrong. That may be the 3rd and 12 from midfield that allowed them to get into field goal range to tie the game, but I don't think so. I think that was the one that got them within 31-28. He's going to bring this over the middle against Bryant, who's a way better defender than people give him credit for. Look at the coverage by Bryant and the challenge. His hand is on the football. It doesn't matter. Sam Laporta, I'm just going to say it. He reminds me of Rob Gronkowski. The athleticism, the ability to do things to people that other players don't do to them. Bobby Wagner, Bryant, in this case, getting a contested catch. I would have been really happy if he had made that catch on that 4th and 4 against Witherspoon. I would also be like really jealous as a Ravens fan who does Lions content this year too, that you guys were able to get him. A fake smash for a 23-yard catch, breaks tackles, kind of runs out of gas here and there around the 12 or something like that. This is a route that I see run mostly by, I almost shouldn't say fake smash, I guess fake slot fade. This is a route that I see run by receivers a lot. They treat Laporta like a receiver, they being the Lions coaching staff. That's what you get out of Laporta. Here's the complimentary route by the number 1 receiver. Just kind of stops. Laporta's job is to push off here, not push off with his hands, but push off quickly to get this DB to get off the field or off, coverage, give him space. Goff is working here, and then comes back in terms of left to right. I think he's just confirming that linebacker 56 goes with the other tight end, comes back to Laporta, wide open, and then breaks a tackle. He reminds me of Gronkowski. Maybe it's the number, maybe it's the size, but it damn sure is the playmaking ability and the hands and the blocking. I'll show you one block against the Chiefs that I think justifies that comparison, which I'm sure some people will have a problem with, but he looks like clearly the best tight end to come out of this draft and probably the last 2 or 3 drafts. Against the Chiefs, that route that I was talking about against Trent McDuffie, another super talented young player, 2nd-year corner. It's a win. I mean, yeah, he pushes off, but Trent McDuffie's pushing off as well. It's inside the 5 yards where they're allowed to make contact with each other. So I'm not sure how often that gets called on the offense, and I really don't think it should. It's a win on a Z under. The slot is going vertical. You got a DN dropping out with, I think that's St. Brown. And then Laporta just brings this underneath into the open space, vacated. Huge catch on a 2nd and long, I believe. And then last one is one we've all seen a lot of. Laporta here on the F counter, Montgomery. I believe this was the go-ahead touchdown. It's going to be rewound a couple of times. You guys let me know what you think. If you're a Lions fan, I know you're excited to have this guy. Brock Wright is an underrated tight end for real. I mean, he had the game-winning catch last year on a design play against the Jets in New York to win the game. It's not even a comparison between Brock Wright and Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta can line up at receiver and give you good reps, which is shocking in and of itself. And then the guy can go out there and block the way that he does through 2 weeks. You can say what you want about Jahmyr Gibbs and the production. You can say what you want about Jack Campbell, and the inside linebackers for the Lions all had trouble covering tight ends for the Seahawks last week. I think part of that was scheme, but we'll leave that aside for a purpose of another video. You can say Sam Laporta is the best pick that they've had. The most production, because he's asked to do so much. Gibbs, prior to Montgomery being hurt last week, was splitting time with Montgomery, rightfully so. I think David Montgomery is a really talented running back. Campbell was splitting time with multiple players at inside linebacker, Barnes, Anzalone, Rodriguez. Sam Laporta is playing in 11 personnel. He's playing in 12 personnel. He's playing sometimes in 21 personnel. Brock Wright comes in occasionally when they go 21 personnel, when they bring Jason Cabinda on the field. This guy does everything. He's asked to do a ton. I don't know how he could be more impressive through 2 weeks. If you're a Lions fan, correct me where I'm wrong with that assessment. But watching the offense film today and tonight, Sam Laporta just sticks out to me. And just like the same way he did in week 1. He's a guy who fits with Amon-Ra St. Brown perfectly, if you ask me. Laporta as a tight end is normally going to be lined up to the boundary, to the short side of the field. Amon-Ra St. Brown can be anywhere as a slot receiver. He can play outside too. Hopefully he gets healthy. The Lions have not their full complement of players on offense because it looks like 2 starting offensive linemen are down, but as many, and David Montgomery will be out, but as many of their starting offensive players available for the Falcons game, which looks a whole lot more difficult now than it did on paper 2 or 3 months ago. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of Sam Laporta in the comment section, what you think of my breakdown and how I talked about his game. If I'm off base with anything that you've seen, feel free to let me know. If you think other Lions fans would enjoy this content, talking about Sam Laporta, one of the best rookies in this class right now in terms of production, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it somewhere on social media to help this content get more reach.